Hello folks, my name is Doug Clements and I'm the Paracord Dude. I'm shooting a series of videos on knot tying, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two and I can demonstrate them and you'll know how to use them when you need to. A lot of people know how to tie knots and may not know when or how to use them, so my hope is I'm going to show you how to tie a series of knots, and I have a few different series of videos, and also show you how to apply these knots once we learn how to tie them appropriately first. My website is paracordude.com. I make different things like jewelry, necklaces, watch bands, dog collars, belts, lots of different things that paracord is made out of. And hopefully you can go check that out. If you find something you like, let me know. Be glad to make anything for you. If you notice anything that you think you might want, please just email me at doug@paracordude.com and I'll be able to hopefully make a custom order for you. I have about 40 colors you can choose from, so you can pick any style, any color that you would like to have. First off, I want you to know that I am not an expert in survival. I'm not an expert in knot tying or anything like that. I just think it's fun. I picked it up as a hobby about a year ago, probably over a year ago, and it kind of just snowballed into my website, and I just really enjoy it. Hopefully you'll find the same enjoyment out of creating something new and unique, and it's kind of cool to see your stuff out there. First off, let's talk about rope in general. In a survival situation, any rope is good rope. That could be electrical cord from a car, that could be, your standard rope you may see at a hardware store, shoelaces, vines that you can lash together, anything like that that you can either have on your person, in your pack, or that you can create is a good rope to have. Lots of different uses for rope. I'm not going to really go into all the uses right now, because I want to show you how to do the knots more importantly. The biggest thing with a knot is anybody can tie a knot, but when you're in a survival situation, you never want to cut your rope if you don't have to. One long piece is better than 10 1-inch pieces that you can't really do anything with. So the knots that I'm going to show you, most of them have easy or quick release type things where you won't have to cut your rope no matter how much tension you put on it. And that's really important, especially in a survival situation, or if you're just tying it and you want to keep your rope in one piece. The cord that I like, obviously, is going to be paracord. And let's talk about paracord in general at first. Some people call it 550 cord, 550 paracord, parachute cord, it's all the same stuff. And what it's designed for, or what it's used for really, is jumping out of planes. And that's where the name paracord comes with. It's very strong, very reliable, rot and mildew resistant, and the biggest thing is, from its name, it holds 550 pounds. And at first, let's talk about where we get that strength from. When you're looking at paracord, you have your outer sheath. In this case, it's brown. And then you also have 7 inner lines that you can see right there. Now you can pull this stuff out, the white inner lines, that's called gutted. And each one of these little lines can hold about 25 pounds. The outer sheath itself can hold about 330 pounds for a total of 550 pounds. So if you double it up, you should be able to pull or hold at least 1,000 pounds. I have gutted some of it. This is what the guts look like. Okay, and you can see this was a long piece here. And again, in a survival situation, it's good because I can use these little guts. You can see an individual one here. I'll pull it out for you. For lots of different things. Dental floss, sewing, doing stitches. You can use it as extra rope for fishing line, lash tabs, hold something tight, anything like that. So in a survival situation, paracord's great because actually you're now having 8 different ropes at your use. And that's why, one reason I do like paracord. For the knots today, we're going to teach you 3 different knots today. 3 basic knots. And first let's talk about kind of terminology of the rope. I'll be talking about working in and standing in today. The working in by name is the end that you're actually going to use. The standing in is the end that may be still or a dangling or something like that. It won't actually be the one you're working with. So in this case, you have this working end, which I'd be using to tie whatever, and the standing end would be this piece coming down to here. And the 3 knots that I'd like to teach you today, the first one's called a square knot. Pretty basic. I'm using 2 different color ropes, one orange, one black. But the advantage of this knot here, the square knot, is to be able to tie 2 different ropes together and make one strong knot and make one long cord. Now you want to be careful with this knot because you want to make sure that the rope diameter, okay, and that's the width of the rope, is the same with each piece. If you have one thick rope and one small rope, there's another type of knot that I would show you, that I'll show you later in the series. But this one, since I have 2 of the same diameter ropes, both of these are paracord, I'm going to show you the square knot. What I'm going to do now is show you how to do this, and then I'll get some close-ups to kind of give you a better look. Anytime that I tie knots, no matter how many times I tie them, I still say them over in my head to help me get them correct. Okay? And with this knot, I'm always going to be using this orange colored rope, which is, for me, it's going to start in my right hand. And this is how it's going to work. I'm going to cross right over left, and now I'm going to wrap it around one time like a shoelace. Now I'm going to go left over right and wrap it around like a shoelace. And now I'm going to pull both those cords, all 4 cords, and that's going to cinch my knot down. And there's my square knot. And you notice the orange goes to orange and the black goes to black, or the right comes back to the right and the left comes back to the left. Okay? And once we start doing the close-ups, I'll show you the advantage of that knot. It's easier to see that way. The next knot I'm going to show you is called a slip knot. Kind of similar to a noose, if you've ever heard of a noose. Basically what this knot does is it goes around an object and then it will cinch tight up on top of the object. There's a few different ways to tie it. The first way I'm going to show you is fairly simple. All we're going to do is take the rope and bend it over itself. So now I have a loop on the rope. Okay, I'll show that again. Just take it and put a loop in the rope. Alright, so right now here's my standing in, and this is the working in. Now all I'm going to do is take this and flip it over just like that. So my working in is on top, my working in is on the bottom, and I'm going to pull my standing in through the loop. Pull the standing in through the loop, tighten down on the working in, and now I have my slip knot. Okay? How do you know if you tie it right? Well, if you put your hand or fingers in the object, I'm going to pull my standing in, and it should cinch up tight. And there it is. For the next knot, similar to a slip knot in the fact that it creates a loop in the rope, the next one is called a bowline or a rescue knot. The advantage of this knot is that it does not cinch up. And why would that be important? Well, if I'm trying to rescue somebody and I want a rope to go around their waist or particularly their armpit area, you don't want to pull the standing in and have this knot cinch down tight and cut their breath off. Alright? And you're going to notice the first few steps are exactly the same as the slip knot. And that's why I told you to tie the slip knot that way. Again, here we go. Working in on top. I'm going to turn it over and pull my standing in through. Okay. Now I'm going to take my working in through that loop I just created and hold it on top. Just like that. Now I'm going to pull this standing in, and you can see it starting to cinch up. And now I've created a loop at the end of that rope that will not cinch down. Alright. Now if I had more rope, longer rope, this would obviously be a bigger loop, and I could put this over my body and they could use to either pull me up, or I could use it for a line if I was going across a river or something like that and I needed a little extra security. But that's the 3 knots: square knot, slip knot, and a bowline or a rescue knot. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera up, kind of give you a close-up of my hands as I tie these to help give you a better visual, and I'll go a little bit slower for you.